What we waited for has come to pass. See what the Lord has done. On your wedding day, you're going to sing that. Can you see what the Lord has done? When you walk into that property, can you see what the Lord has? When that healing happens, what we've been praying for, He has brought to pass. See what the Lord has done.
Other behaviors that will have grave consequences. So what do I mean? Adolescents are children who, let me talk about the psychological changes that they have. They want to be independent. They want to have their own identity. How many of you are feeling that way? What I'm saying now, how many of you are feeling that way? Hello? You're looking at yourself. These things are normal. So don't think I'm not speaking fallacy. I'm saying that's the way God has designed us. So I'm a very practical person that I need to establish that. So please, you are going to be hearing some practical things from me today. And I don't want us to pretend. Just follow me and I'm sure you gain something. So you want to be independent. You want to have your own cliques. As a woman, at that period, between the age of 10 and 19 years, you start to feel conscious of the opposite sex. It is normal. Don't feel you are abnormal. If you don't feel that way, that means you are abnormal. Yes. Because that is a normal psychological change you are expected to undergo at that age. And you see, the physical changes, the men, you have, you begin to grow beards, you have wet dreams, that's your first experience at ejaculation, the penis grows bigger, your voice cracks. These are normal changes. Then the female, you grow breasts, you start menstruating, you have hair under your armpits and the rest like that. So those are physical changes. I'm talking about psychological changes now, is what I've mentioned. Then social change. You want to have your own friends, then you want to be independent. There are some things you don't want your parents to correct you about. And so when I was growing up, I had that same thing, but though I didn't understand what it was, and my parents didn't also understand. And so I used to come into conflicts with my mom particularly because I hated her correcting me. So I didn't know that it was not a normal change with me. So, and another thing is, for females, most of the time is females, they start, feeling the conscious of their body image. Some say I'm too fat, some say I have thin legs, some say I have big mouth. And if this is not well controlled, they might have low self-esteem, and from there they may go into depression, and sometimes they might start thinking of suicidal ideations. So this is how it goes. So you need to be in an environment where this can be properly managed to see that these things are normal. And that's why I've come to tell you this morning that your feelings are normal. It is when you go a step further or not knowing how to manage your feelings that it may become a problem for you. So, like I used to say wherever I go, that I think I was around 16 or 17 in Ogbonkowo there. And there's this guy, we used to sit, I always sit behind my parents. Like Reverend Adetula described me one day. I didn't even know. I said, I always sit behind my father. It's a normal, it's as if it's, what do I say? It's just normal. We don't go more than a seat behind him. So of course, he watches us. Even during the service, he will look back 20 times to just be sure that we are still there. So after this service, I just was attracted to somebody in the church after the church service. So, and I told myself, I didn't tell anybody about it. But because I became born again at the age of 10 years. And so that was what helped me. And that was the first time I learned how to open up sincerely to God. And I told God, I said, God, I want to become a doctor. I don't want this distraction. Just take this feeling away. And it was just that simple prayer, and that feeling left. When I saw the guy the next day, I said this one. And that was it. And so I like to share it. I've shared it with my children. So when I shared this with my children, they said, oh, Mommy, why didn't you tell us this before? Okay, so that's the reason for the feeling I used to have when my 9-year-old told me that. He said, so that's the feeling I used to have when I come near the girls in my class. So it's to tell you that, don't pretend, though, these things I'm telling you are real. If a 9-year-old can be telling me, but because I opened up to him to say there's no big deal, and you know that don't cross your boundary, is the message I should preach to you. So he already understood that is normal. So once he comes, he just pushes it aside. No, it's not time. I want to be, we have goals that we've set. I set goals for them, based on what I think they want. And so we are working towards it. Hello? Are you more comfortable with me? So just know that I'm a practical person, like I said. So having a sexual urge at this age is normal. Are we together? Okay. So let's go on. So your personality is of an individual develops in a systematic order through the 8 stages of psychological development from infancy to adulthood. And so there's the social environment, that is where you are raised. It has a lot of impact on you. As a child, when a child is born, it's as if, the mind of that child is like a plain sheet of paper. So it's the environment that writes on that plain sheet. So if you grew up in an environment where you were molested, something will be written on that page. If you grew up in an environment where there is no love, something will be written on that page. If you grew up in an environment where your father beats your mother, something will be written on that page. And so that is what forms a human being. That's what forms and shapes your person. Unless there is a deliberate effort to intervene, to change that thing that the experience you had when you were growing up. So that is how that's how you develop your personality. Then there's a psychologist. He noted that at every stage of development, a person experiences a psychosocial crisis, which could have a positive or negative outcome for personality development. So your experiences are part of the things that shapes you as a human being. So that's just what that psychologist is saying. The psychological needs of an individual sometimes may conflict with the needs of the society, giving rise to negative psychosocial crisis. So negative experiences will give a negative psychosocial crisis, while the positive ones will give a positive psychosocial crisis. As we go on, you will understand better. Next. So the successful completion of each stage results in a healthy personality and acquisition of basic virtues. So like I explained, there are 8 stages from infancy to adulthood. So when you are able to successfully complete the first stage, you gain a virtue and you move on to the next. Just like when you are in your school. When you leave KG, you move to primary, from primary 1 to primary 2, like that. So when you move from primary 1 to 2, you must have gained a particular knowledge and skill on how to read, and you understand yourself better. That's what this is just saying, that when you are able to successfully complete a stage, then a virtue must have been added to you. The basic virtues are characteristic strengths, which is usually useful to overcome the psychosocial crisis of subsequent stages. Failure of an individual to successfully complete a stage can result in a reduced ability to complete further stages and therefore a more unhealthy personality and sense of self. So if you had a very bitter experience and you did not have somebody that could help you grow through that stage, it's possible that the person may take over that experience into the next stage, and it may affect the overall psychological development of that individual. Next. Okay, so these are the age stages. So at birth, between the ages of 0 and 1.5 years, the psychosocial crisis, if it's positive, if it's positive, the child gains trust versus mistrust. As a child, when you are born, if you receive love, attention, and care, because you don't know, the child may be small, you think that the child doesn't know, is not conversant with the environment, but no, that child already has a heart, has feelings, has a mind, has a soul. So if the child is treated well, the child knows. If the child is in an environment where he's catered for, that child knows. So the child, when you treat a child well, the child gains the caregiver's trust and knows that, okay, I think this world is a good place to come. But if a child is not treated well, for children who were given birth to and abandoned, maybe on the street, that child, though may be small, but you are already developing mistrust in that child. So that's a psychosocial negative crisis for that child. Then the basic virtue for a child that has trust, the basic virtue that the child will gain is hope. Then the child will be, okay, I think if I can have trust in my caregiver, then that means there is hope for me to continue to live. Are you getting me? Okay, so the second stage is when the child is between 1.5 years and 3 years. So the child the psychosocial crisis there is autonomy and shame. If the child, you know the meaning of autonomy, that's independence. The child, okay, is already a toddler. He goes free in an environment that is safe, runs around, and the child is trying to gain independence. He can move from one place to the other. So the child is gaining autonomy. But if it's the other way around, that is shame for that child. So, but the basic virtue that child that has autonomy, the basic virtue that child is going to gain is the will. So that child has a will to want to do more in his life. So the third stage is initiative versus guilt. A child that does not have initiative, you must tell that child everything. Cannot use his brain, cannot even dress, because it's that period that they start to attempt to dress for themselves. They want to bathe themselves, even at that age, 3 to 5 years. They want to do something, they want to eat by themselves, they want to do some things for themselves. So that child that successfully completes that stage has initiative. But a child, maybe that the father molests, because I heard of a case of a man, a youth pastor, molested his 2-year-old daughter. So that kind of child is already having some negative psychosocial crisis. Do you understand? So for age 3 to 5 years, that child will be having guilt. I came across a lady who at the age of 5 years, the neighbor was abusing her. So the mom is not the attentive type. She tried to explain, to give the mom a sign that they should leave the house. The mom started calling her Ogbanje, Mary, and all of that. So the child kept it to herself. She kept it. The neighbor continued until she was 7 years old. This continued until they now left the house to another place. This neighbor still went to that same house to continue to molest her, and yet the mom did not know. You can see that kind of child. So that child already has a negative psychosocial crisis already. And I met the lady when she was, already over 20. And this this, because she could not get over these negative things, so it started affecting her present life when I met her. So you can see how our social environment affects our personality and the psychosocial crisis that we have in life. Then let's go to the next stage. That is the industry versus inferiority stage. That's between 5 and 12 years. You see, that period is a time where the child already becomes an adolescent. Because the inferiority thing, adolescent period starts at the age of 10 years. A child who will have low self-esteem will start to have it at that period. I remember, I think it was around 7 or 8 years. My daughter called me one day. She said, "Mommy, can you be rich when you collect salary?" I said, "No." He said, "Me, I will not collect salary. I want to have my own business." At the age of 8. Because the environment she's being raised gives her the freedom to express herself and to understand that she can be whatever she wants to be. So you can see, industry is being developed in her. Then competency. Like, when she came back from school, she's 12, she'll be 13. So I told her, I said, I have a boot camp like Reverend Adetola said. I said, please, you are going to work on a video for me. Go and write the script. And immediately we came back from church, she just sat down, started typing, and she wrote me a script. I said, go and think about it. I'm not going to say, well, just discuss with me. I gave her materials that she can use. She was so happy because I gave her a task to solve. So that is how to build the esteem of our children. Now she knows that she can do anything. I didn't say a word, and she wrote a beautiful script that I didn't even think about. So the child that successfully completes that will gain what? Competency. So that's the stage. Then 12 to 18 years, identity versus role confusion. You know, I said the child wants to have his own identity. The child wants to associate with his own people. The child wants to be known for something. I don't want to be known by my father's name or by my mother's name. I want to be known for my, the reason why I came to the world. And that is where many people miss it. So a child that has inferiority complex, maybe develop inferiority complex at stage 4, carries it over to stage 5, will have role confusion. So what do I mean? They start to join bad gangs, and this is the period where they start to drink, negatively influenced by peer pressure, by their peers, and from there, all sorts of things, risky sexual behaviors. The ladies can get pregnant. So many things can happen at that stage, 12 to 18 years. And that is why illicit dressing is a function of low self-esteem, if I may say. Because you want the validation of others. So you want to attract people. Because how will you explain half of your body is uncovered? For what? So if an illicitly dressed person enters here, won't you notice her? You will notice. And that is a function of low self-esteem. Because she does not understand her worth. And so she wants people to validate that she's beautiful. That's the only explanation to it. So you can, hope you understand, hope you are following me the way I'm, taking it to make you to understand that some of the behavior of young people is in relation to a dysfunctional psychosocial development. Do you understand? Okay, so let's go to the next stage. 18 to 40 years. Intimacy versus isolation. Intimacy now in terms of you want to have sexual relation. You want to, it's still, adolescence is still included in that. So, if that starts, so many sexual relations and all of that, there are all sorts of names now. Baby mamas, baby fathers, all sorts of things. And young people now, they cohabit. In the university, you see male and female, they live together. They are not married though. The guy will beat the hell out of the girl and she still remain there. You know, it's a function of a defect in the psychosocial development of a lady who cohabits with a man without being married. The woman does not have self-respect and she does not have esteem. If you understand your worth as a lady, you will know that definitely you shouldn't be living with a man. It's an aberration, sincerely. When I was in the university, there's this lady, even in the boys' hostel, this guy will beat the hell out of her. There was a time he tore his clothes. He tore her clothes, rather, in the boys' hostel, slapped her and her glasses, you know, she could not even find the glasses. Another guy had to cover her nakedness. You know, I was like, you know, at that time I was so angry, but I wasn't close to the lady. And I didn't have, you know, I was still developing my skill. If not, I would have gone to meet her that, is there something wrong with you upstairs? The next week, she was back with the guy. I'm sure the guy will never, I don't know her whereabouts now, but I'm very sure the guy did not marry her. I'm very sure. Because if you understand men very well, they love to showcase their women who are doing well. So many men do. When they are doing well, you can say, that's my wife there. But a woman who I will beat, you see, come like this, no. That shows that there's a problem with that lady. If a man threatens, not beat you, threatens to beat you, and you are not married, you should leave that relationship. If you say, Magba Oju, and you are not yet married, if he's already saying that, that means you are done for when he marries you. You better pick race. There is no more red sign than that. If you hear that, then you better run for your life. That's the truth. A man that says that to you does not respect you. That's the truth. So, when the man misbehaves, so who will beat the man? Hello? If a man feels that when you misbehave, he should either threaten you or beat you, then when the man misbehaves, because is there any perfect person? Is there any perfect person? So who will beat the man when the man misbehaves? So, hello? That kind of relationship is a no. Please run for your life. We will talk more as I progress. Then, at the age of, at the 6th stage, the basic virtue there is love. Then the 7th stage, generativity and stagnation, 40 to 65 years. They say that a fool at 40 is what? I think is this principle they use to coin that language, that a fool at 40 is a fool forever. At that age, at 40, you should be doing stuff with your life. You should be multiplying what you have already. Multiplying your talent, your skill. Be scaling up every of the skills that God has given to you. That is that age. Then, a man that has a negative crisis at that age is stagnated. There's nothing you can do, because from 40 to 65, I know someone who almost all his life, he dropped out of school. He said he was not going to school again. A man, eventually started drinking, he will spend all the small money that he has. He will spend it in the beer parlor. He will drink to stupor. He continued this till he just got a wife, impregnated the wife, that one gave birth. And he continued. The wife even tried to package him, took loan, bought him a car to do something with. At the end of the day, he sold the car, he drank with it. This man continued till he gave up the ghost. So that one is stagnation. no going anywhere. So, and you should know that if you will do well in life, it's your responsibility. Regardless of the environment you grew up. I will always say that your background is not your limitation. You are the only limitation that can hinder your progress. If you tell yourself you cannot do something, then you cannot. If you say, despite my background, I'm going to achieve success, then you will. It may be difficult, but you will. You know, God does not make mistakes. The background He has put you is for you to look around and be able to create opportunities from your background. You understand? How many of us know Ellen Paul here? Ellen Paul. You know she's a product of rape. She does not know the father. It was a gang rape. They raped the mother. But today, you know what? She's I think one of the few actresses in Nigeria with a PhD. And she's doing well. I think she's in the US now. Will she say, because my father does not know my mother, I'm a product of rape, and she will now remain like that? You know, your situation can make or mar you. I hope you know that. It is your responsibility to turn your mess into a message. Nobody will do that for you. You must make up your mind not to remain on the ground. Failure is an event, it's not a person. If you fail, you rise up again. They said, if you cannot fly, what do? You run. If you cannot run, you walk. If you cannot walk, the most important thing is what? No, don't stop. Keep moving. So regardless of any situation, I will tell you some of my story and you'll be baffled. Looking at me here, I've gone through hell in my life, and that's the truth. Sometimes I wonder why I'm just the only one with so many problems. But I grew up to understand that God is baking me so that I can be useful for Him in the future. It is when what gives me insight is pain. I think that's my own lifestyle. I must go through pain for me to see what I have abilities to produce. Yes, I knew my purpose right from when I was in the university, but the reality dawned on me to make use of the talents God has given me when I encountered workplace crisis. It was so serious that I had to think that, is this how I will end my life? And that is why today I'm doing 1,000,001 things with my talent. I created opportunity in my problem. So your background or what you have passed through should not determine your future. You have the ability to make things work for yourself, regardless of wherever God has put you, wherever you were raised. Some of you, your parents are abusing you. Don't know if I'm talking to anybody here, but I'm sure you know stories of people. You know Joyce Meyer. The father abused her for so many years. Google now, you see Joyce Meyer everywhere. Even her husband that encouraged her to start preaching. Do you hear of David Meyer anywhere? But, you know, she had to heal. She forgave herself, forgave her father, and that is why she's blessing lives today. So, your experience should make you wake up to your responsibilities and work hard so that you can be great in the future. So the next, 65 and above, ego integrity. A man at 65 that will not achieve anything with his life, what will happen to him? It's just despair. He will just do and go. That's all that is left. So basic virtue is wisdom. So next, let's move to the next slide. Okay, so negative psychosocial crisis. The major psychosocial problems of youth. We have low self-esteem, depression and suicide is so common now among young people. Anxiety disorders, personality disorder, disruptive behavioral disorder. You know a man that has personality disorder, you know how you characterize them. you see them, they cannot delay gratification. Anger is one of their core things. They have all manner of antisocial behavior. They can start fighting here. They can remove their clothes and start boxing people. Those are the ones that have personality disorders. You know, they cannot manage anger. They can beat up anybody. And those are the things you see in them. So, let me focus on 12 to 18 and 18 to 40 years. You know, I'm talking about youth, right? So let's go to their negative psychosocial crisis. So what did I say about the negative ones for 12 to 18? They will have what? Role confusion, right? Okay, so when they have role confusion, what happens? They can be introduced to drug and substance abuse and addiction. Illicit dressing, I think I explained that before. Indiscriminate sexual relationship. They don't even care. Some ladies, when you miss them, they say they prefer old men. Wearing wedding bands is not a problem for some. They even look out for those with wedding band because they say they will take care of people, right? They'll take care of them. So, any sexual relationship, they don't care. They will just go for it. They continue like that. From there, HIV, AIDS, sexually transmitted infection, pregnancy, unwanted pregnancy can come out from there. Then cultism, mostly for men, but girls now are also joining cults. They have their female cult groups. Then armed robbery, kidnapping. The problems of Nigeria today, if you look at the newspaper, all the ones they've caught, are they not youth? Hello, are they not youth? They are youth. So, the way we have, God has blessed us with the ability to do exploit, either the positive or the negative ways. Young people, you are energetic and agile, but it depends on what you use that energy for. Young people take risk, but it is better appreciated if it's a positive risk-taking. But if it's a negative risk-taking, you know, you have all the grave consequences, HIV and all the other consequences are there. So let's go to 18 and 14 years. Intimacy is the positive outcome of that. Then isolation is the negative one. We have wrong relationship, cohabiting. If I'm in the university here and you are cohabiting with your partner, it is very wrong. That shows you don't know what you carry as a woman. You don't know your worth. If you do, then you will not do that. Let me give my example because it's always very easy for me so that you know that some of these things that I say to you, these are things that I've also practiced. I think 600 level, thereabouts, in the university. The person I was going out with that time said he wanted to marry me by force. I said, no, I'm going to wait. I want to honor my father. He struggled to take me to school. I don't mind going from the induction room to the wedding. But when they mentioned my name that day, that's why I told him, I said I want it to be Ogunyokin. I want my father to be proud wherever he's sitting, to know that his effort on me is not a waste. I didn't want to bear another name so that they will not know that my father is there. And that's what I told him. That is self-respect. The guy argued. I said, I'm sorry. Eventually, he left the relationship. I was okay. Let me even shock you. Hello? Let me even shock you. 40 days to my final exam, medical school. The guy, doctor, he knew how tedious and how sensitive the medical school exam is. That was when he said he was not doing again. 40 days. Hello? Hello? Let me tell you how I handled it. I'm actually I'm actually writing a book on overcoming depression. And there's a section I put on reality. So I told my story there of all the things I've passed through in my life. But when I got to that point, I wanted to write somebody else's story. But when I got there, God said, write your story. I didn't even know I had plenty stories until I started writing. So that came up. You know how I handled it? I just said, because I've always developed myself, and I told myself that I'm an asset to any man. Any man who leaves me is not worthy of me. That's what I've always told myself. And that was how I was able to handle it. And that very night, he sent a mail to tell me, because he was abroad at that time. I first cried. I won't deceive you because I'm human. A relationship of 5 years. Hello? So, somebody was already talking marriage, you can imagine, So, I just told myself, I said, no, yesterday you must wake up, no more. You have exam in front of you. This man is not worthy of you. No way, you must not fail your exam because of him. And that I said, God, I'm sorry for crying. The next day, you know what I went to do? I went to gather cassettes, praise and worship. When I wake up in the morning, that's the first thing. I will dance and dance and dance and go to school. That was how I handled it. And hearing those songs will give me joy. And that was how I would spend my whole day, joyful. And when I had to tell one of my friends that this happened to me, he said, I don't think you love the guy. I said, 5 years. But God just gave me that strength. And that was when I knew the power of joy. I would sing and dance and pray and go to work. I did my exam, I passed very well. My parents didn't know, I didn't tell them because I know they would be anxious. I didn't tell my parents. My sisters knew, and I told them, please don't tell anybody. Because my father will be, in fact, he will be calling me, it will be as if he's the one they disappointed. So I didn't just want that anxiety. I just said, please don't share this with my brother also knew. Don't share this with anybody. My brother, I even told him, don't call me. Just leave me. And after I passed, he now called my parents to say, YETUNDE shall try, sha. And they were wondering, try, They both in past, He said, shall try, sha. I didn't tell them until after I came back home, everything. They now asked of me. I said, sorry, that the relationship has broken. And the way my father still took it, in fact, he was mad. Seriously, he was so angry. But here I am today, Abi. So don't kill yourself because of any man. No. So, young people now have slang, oje breakfast. Don't eat breakfast for anybody. Hello? And I will tell you that I was not depressed, not for one day. That's the truth. Except that first day that I cried. After then, no more. No more. I told myself, no, you are strong. You are passing through this because God is using you to bless lives. And I said, no more. Somebody is blessed. Somebody is taking something from what I'm saying here. So my book will be out before the end of the year by God's grace. It's Overcoming Depression, because I know it's a problem among young people. Nobody is worthy to die for. Jesus has died for us. So why are you dying again? You don't need to die. He has taken our sins away. So why are we dying? We are not the sacrificial lamb. If you die for any man, he will marry 1,000,001 girls and walk on your grave. So it's not worth it, please. So let's go on. So domestic violence, low self-esteem, unwanted pregnancy. So similar things, divorce. These are some things here. Please go on. Okay, so solutions to negative psychosocial crisis. Each developmental stage may be resolved successfully if necessary interventions are applied at the appropriate time. So you must have had a very terrible experience, but you must consciously, I say you must live your life intentionally, so that appropriate solutions, if you need to reach out to somebody to assist you, reach out. So that for the fact that those experiences happened, it doesn't mean that you have to die with them. You can learn how not to, fall in, be a victim of that negative psychosocial crisis. A lot of people, like I said, your experience, you don't allow your experience to debar you. You must keep moving. And that is what is important. Next. Okay, so essential for adolescents and young people generally. Number one, goal setting. You must have what you are living for per time. You must have goals. If you don't have any goal, no vision, nothing, just living aimlessly, then you can never have goals. You must have short-term goals, immediate goals or short-term goals, intermediate goals, and long-term goals. I have my long-term goals now that I'm working towards. I have my short-term goal. My short-term goal is to finish my book. By fire, by force, I want to finish that book. It's my third book, actually. I want to finish it. I've given myself some targets so that I'm working towards it and trying to ensure that I finish it. So you must have those kind of goals. Have something you living for. Don't just be empty. Don't just exist. Make impact. And how can you make impact? You must know why you are here, existing on the surface of the earth. If you are still in school, have goals. Okay, I want to make it, like I said about my children, I'm helping them to achieve their goals. Okay, we set the goals together. The one one is in secondary, one is in primary school. Okay, in the next class now, let's set your goals. They give them gifts every term. So the other one got silver and the highest is gold. So I said, okay, we are going to work on gold. Whatever it will take us, we have a plan for this goal. And in addition, I said I will reward you. Two of them, I used the reward system for them. When you get this, you get a smartwatch. And I will not deceive you. The one in the primary school, is really dreaming of that smartwatch. Dreaming seriously. His test was fantastic. He was so happy with himself. So for that test, I still rewarded him. I said, let's go out, you eat. So he was happy. So the exam now, anytime he comes to mommy, I missed one, I hope I will still get my gold. So that is, I'm teaching him the act of what? Short-term goal setting. And so everybody, you must have that. Set goals, and your goals must be smart. It must be within a period of time. It must be specific, measurable, achievable, result-oriented, and time-bound within a specific period of time. Have something you are living for. Set goals. Then decision-making. Your goals and your vision and purpose will determine the decisions you make. Like I talked about the guy that I was attracted to at the age of 17 years. What helped me with the decision making was because I understood where I was going. I said, if I start with this one now, I cannot become a doctor. And immediately, my decision was to pray so that the attraction would go, and God helped me. So, your decisions, young people usually think that if I do it, nothing will happen to me. Even if you hear that people are having HIV, AIDS, and sexual transmission, you say, it can happen to them, it cannot happen to me. You say, out of all the 90-something people that it happens to, me, I'm different. It can't happen to me. That's the way young people think. They don't think that there are consequences for their actions. Even in the Bible, those who erred, despite the fact that God forgave them, didn't they suffer for it? Look at David. God loved David so much. When he heard, did God just overlook his wrongdoing? Even though he prayed, fasted, and everything, didn't the son die? And look at his household. They started fighting themselves. It was because of that sin that he was engaged in. And look at every other person too in the Bible. So there are consequences for every wrongdoing. God may forgive you, of course. He has even forgiven us even before we committed the sin. But please, there are major decisions and there are minor decisions. Major decisions that can affect your entire life, like who to marry. Which other major decision? Career. Career, you can change it somehow. Yes, you can change it, because I have some friends who did medicine, studied medicine because their parents wanted them to study medicine. Immediately they finished, they handed over the certificate to their parents and they went their way. I know some IT, I have 2 or 3 that are in the IT world. They have not practiced medicine one day. Some are singing. There's even one, is a ventriloquist. He's like a jester. No, doesn't practice anything. He carries all this. If you check online, you check his name. He's a celebrity. He does not practice medicine. He has only retained his doctor just to show. There are some that are caterers, so you can change that one. So once you understand where you are going, but I think the major one is who to marry. Once you get that one wrong, almost every other thing will be wrong with you, because you can't fulfill purpose, and that's the truth. And we are on earth to fulfill purpose. We are on earth to make impact. Me, I don't just want to exist. And when I go, I want the world to talk about me, that I impacted lives. That's why I'm here on earth. So marriage is critical. Very critical. There are some major decisions too that if you make, that may just change the entire course of your life. So please, and that's why we are hearing this today, let's be careful. Okay, let's say, okay, a major decision now, as a young person, you get involved in illicit behavior and all that. Teenage pregnancy. There's a lady, not even a young person, around 32, when I came across her, goes to one of these churches. I won't mention the name of the church. She came pregnant. A brother impregnated her too in the church. So, of course, choir member, they were ashamed. Instead of leaving the pregnancy, she's 32, already committed the offense. Yes, we ask God for forgiveness. God is a loving Father. Fine. She will face the shame, and at least I'm sure she will be alive today. But the brother took her to abort that pregnancy with a quack somewhere in Akure. They aborted the pregnancy. They perforated her intestine. Everything inside the intestine, feces and all, spread around her abdomen. By the time she came, I was doing house job then in Ondo. They couldn't stay in Akure because they lived in Akure. She had to come to Ondo to come and do the operation. She was smelling, as in smelling, without even opening her at all. So my Oga at that time told her it's a 50-50 chance. We entered. In fact, I had to come out of the theater. The whole place was messed up. She died of overwhelming infection. The brother today, I'm sure the brother is married somewhere, enjoying life. It's the truth. We didn't even see the brother. The brother didn't come around at all. All through the time that this lady was suffering, the guy did not show up. That's a major decision. So please, the reason why I'm sharing this experience is for you to learn. Don't let anybody sweet tongue or sugar, men have sugar-coated mouth and tongue. Don't let them deceive you. Hello? Hello? Be focused. Know where you are going. You know that it is only when you don't know where you are going. Somebody can just come and say, come, let's go to the market. Won't you follow? But if I'm going to Fagun and somebody says, let's go to market, will I follow? Please, I beg. No, me Ubabe, thank you. I'm going to Fagun. Me, I'm not going to market. So, many young people do not have focus because they don't know what they are living for. They are distracted by whatever comes their way. I pray we will not regret any of our actions. So Values. Value setting is also one of the life skills. Set good values. Honesty, integrity, hardworking. You know, those are some of the good values that we have. How will you be known by? If they say Olusheyi, what do they know Olusheyi for? Do you understand? If they mention your name, you say that one that is a liar. Is that what you want people to know you for? Is that what you want people to know you for? Or if they mention your name, they say, I can do business with that lady. She's a woman of substance and integrity. Anything she says, she will always speak the truth. She will tell you the truth. You understand? So these are, and they said this, by their fruits we shall know them. So values, you know, they sell you. Your values are what will sell you to the next person. If I associate with you today, what will determine if I'm not going to associate with you next time is what? The values you set. So please, let's set good values so that we can attract good people. You might pray from now till kingdom come. If you don't have good character and good virtues, nobody will come to you. And that's the truth. They say it takes an individual to assist, but it takes you as an individual to maintain that blessing. It is your character and your behavior that will keep you in that blessing or will take the blessing away from you. So please, let us, what do you want people to know you for? It is critical we determine that these are things that young people should focus and develop themselves in. Assertive skills. You must be assertive. You must be convincingly say whether yes or no to anything. You don't need anybody's approval to be who you are. I don't need anybody's approval to be who I am. If you don't like me, sorry, go your way. God, is it everybody that loved Jesus when he was on earth? So me, I've trained myself, I've passed through that stage. If you don't love me, it's your headache. Sorry. I cannot help you. The people God will attract to me, they will come my way. That's what I've told myself. So before, I used to feel so bad when somebody does not, because I like to be at peace with everybody. I said, it's not possible. If you don't, some people will just hate you without even you doing anything to them. So how will you now please that kind of person? Even if you cut your head, they will still hate you. So when I discovered that, I said, I don't need anybody to love me. Even if it's two people. Once I see that I'm able to bless you and you are able to bless me, it's okay. Every other person is your business. So I don't need your approval to be who God has made me to be. So I think we need to get to that point in our lives that people's opinion will not matter in our lives. A lot of people, they say people, you try to impress people who don't even know that you exist. And that's what most of us do. You go and buy shoe, buy bag. Once it does not please you yourself, every other person is immaterial. You don't need their opinion. And that's the truth. So we must come to that point when you want to say, there is also joined to refusal skills. When somebody wants to lure you into something that does not represent your values, tell them straight, I am sorry, I am not going to be a part of this. No. It's not for you to, your body language is showing yes, and your mouth is showing no. No. Doesn't the person know that you are interested? Say no and walk away. And that is why some girls are raped. You follow somebody to the house. You know, maybe it's already telling you, and you are not so emphatic about your no. You say your no and you move out. You still follow them to their rooms. No. The person knows you are interested. Have you met girls like that? Have you met girls like that? They are saying something else, but their body is saying something else. No. Hello? You must know what you want. If something does not represent your value, say no and walk away. So these are skills that young people should learn. Time management is also very key. So I'm going to dwell on self-esteem. Let's go, please. I think I've spent so much. Next. Okay, so I developed this framework, the DASA framework, on building a positive self-esteem. And DASA means discover, appreciate, speak, and acquire. So next, let's go to discover. Okay, so the first thing there, to build a positive self-image, you must discover yourself. Engage in self-awareness activity. Who am I? Number one, you need to go to your maker. This microphone now, we know we use it to magnify our, amplify our voices and all that, because the manufacturer produced it to be so, right? So, if you take fork now, nobody will tell you what it's used for. You already know the function, as stated by the manufacturer. Same is also yourself. Why are you existing? You know God does not make a mistake. Hello? You know God does not make a mistake. There's a reason why you were born, regardless of how you came about. Whether it's rape, whether it's, there are some children, they'll say, mistake children. There are some, even in marriage, they'll say, mistake, last born, mistake. There's no mistake with God. God orchestrated that mistake because He wants to use you on earth. You must identify your uniqueness. What is that in you that makes you different from me? Our fingerprints. We are so many in the world, billions of people. As unique as we are, our fingerprints are different. If you compare the fingerprints of your friends, you see that they are all different. That means that we are very unique. Your talent, we may have similar talents, but we will not express ourselves in different ways because we are different. So you must find out your talent, your gift. 2 guys came to sing here, and it's singing that is their talent, but they sang in different ways. That guy sang, in fact, his singing was quite different from the other guy. So that singing that God has gave him, that is uniqueness. Nobody else has it. We may be in the ministry of teenage ministries together, but my own delivery will be different from your own. So identify your own and stay there. Don't copy me. Don't compare yourself to me. And that's why we are having this crisis today, because social media is a very bad influence. Yes. I will say it again. Social media is a bad influence. Many of you are following celebrities. And you are patterning your lives after them. You follow Naira Marley. Am I lying? You follow Naira Marley. You don't wear pants. You don't wear belts. You follow this one, Zazu, what's his name? 1 million boys, Abi? Okay. These are people that young people follow. People that will not add any values to your life. And meanwhile, there are incredible people doing wonderful things on social media, but young people don't follow them. So that is what I'm saying here. You must know where you are going. Don't follow people because your friends are following them. I follow some people on social media because I'm on social media to do my business and to influence lives and to learn. That's why I'm on social media, nothing more. And that is what I've passed across to my children. They know that social media is for business. That's the message I've taught them. It's not for anything else. It's for business. is to learn from people there are some people that when you read from them, your brain will reset. There are so many people online. Once I see, and that's why I've set my Facebook, you can't tag me. It's not possible. You now tag me and put rubbish on my timeline? No way. I will not even accept it. It can't show on my timeline because there's something I'm building, my brand. I want, when you check my page, there's a sequence I'm building. I want people to understand that this is who I am. Don't come and put your tag and So I vet all the people that tag me, and most of them I don't accept it. I don't add just anybody. Once I just check your page and I see one or two things, and let me also shock you. You might not know, young people. People consider your social media pages to employ you. You don't know. Recently, I came across a guy who we were considering my elder brother in the US, we're considering to give a job to him. So he said, give me the Facebook account of the person. I shared with him. Immediately he said, yesterday, we can't go there. I now went to the page, I said, please, we can't go there. I just told the guy, I said, I'm sorry, other people have been considered. It was just his Facebook page that we checked. I remember when I wanted to travel out one time, a guy was held down. Why? They went to his Facebook page, he posted something incriminating somewhere, and they didn't allow him to travel. It was delayed by 2-3 days. They said he should come and prove as that thing that he wrote. Social media never forgets. So be careful, young people. You may just think you posted something, it doesn't matter. It matters. Don't just make any comments, just anyhow. When you see they are abusing men of God, you add your own. You abuse them very well. On the day, you will not know when that thing will work against you. It might just be that man of God. Somebody somewhere knows. We are like fluid. We flow. We don't know who is going to assist us tomorrow. And so we should be careful how you portray yourself in front of people. They use that job, interview now. You want to go abroad, they check your Facebook page. If you want to get employed, they check your Facebook page. Everything you have done online comes out. If you think I'm lying, this happens live to me. Like the guy, the person is even somebody close to me. That I said, Facebook page dropped him off. So let us be careful. So, discovering yourself, whatever you want to be known for is what you should put on your social media handle. That is part of discovering who you are. Don't live another person's life. Live your own life. Identify your uniqueness. Why does OLAGBUJI exist? Why does Tomilola exist? Find out your uniqueness, your talent, your gift, natural skills, passion, likes and dislikes. These are pointers to your gifts. Identify your interests. Like, how did I come about my own purpose? I was in a university, in 100 level, one lady, my father told me about, what do they call it? October Rush. When we were going to school, he said, October Rush, all the senior boys, they want to come to Jambite. Please, keep yourself and all that. So that thing kept ringing in my brain. October Rush, October Rush. So I think nobody told this lady anything. She just came in. And that time, when you talk, you are a virgin, you are a virgin. People they will make you feel so ashamed. You are the one doing the right thing, but the way they will say, you are a virgin. This one does not understand life, So, I think she fell into that group. So she wanted by all means to lose her virginity to also belong. She now just fell into the hands of just a guy, drunkard. That one impregnated her. And the parents insisted that she must not abort it. Immediately she gave birth. They knew that the guy was not responsible. The parent forced her to live with the guy. They abandoned her completely. So that's when I started, I think I became so interested in her. Sometimes I pray for her, that, this girl. Ordinarily because she did not understand comprehensive sexuality education. That was how my interest came. I started working in the area. I became so interested. And so with time, praying and everything, I just knew that I think my purpose is around young people. So find out your own. Oh. Me, I found out my own. You understand? So there are some times that it is your, if you just see somebody walking on the street, maybe she's homeless. Everybody may walk in front of that person and not feel anyhow. But you just be attached. How can this person be homeless? You are just concerned. That may be your own cue. I'm just trying to tell you different ways to discover your purpose. Then the most important thing is go back to your Creator. He created you. Sit down with God. Find out why you exist. Because sometimes God shows us things through dreams. Sometimes it might just be the scripture. If we just give you that scripture and it resonates so much with you, and you just speak it, and with time you get clarity about it and all that. So these are ways we need to discover our purpose. So when you discover your purpose, you will not be envious of me, because you know that you have your own, I have my own. Your own responsibility is to develop your own. Whatever God has given us, they are raw materials. Do you understand? But you need to refine your own gifts so that they can be useful and it will sell you to others. You can't use that raw material the way it is. You need to refine it through self-development. Do you understand? So the critical thing is discovering yourself. That will not make it is a first thing that will not make you to be envious and to feel low about yourself. Next is appreciate. Okay, so sorry, can you go back? Next. Okay, have you found out who you really are? Just to emphasize what I just said now. The journey of knowing who you are is that of self-awareness and discovery. The abuse of a thing is inevitable if the purpose is not known. Next. So what you need to know about your purpose, your passion, talent, skills, likes, dislikes. Next. So know that you are unique and fashioned for a purpose. Identify what you love to do and what gives you joy. Identify the qualities or skills you love to express. Spend time with yourself. Be determined to be of help to others. Your passion may be identified by others. Discover how your passion meets the world's greatest need. Let me tell you another story. So, like I said, I knew my purpose all along. But when I now started working, I didn't know what next. I wrote a book. My first book was written about so many years ago. Around, I think I wrote it in 2008. But I wrote it and kept it there. I kept it somewhere. I didn't think of publishing until the workplace crisis started. They sidetracked me. They just be taking files from one place to the other. Nobody was talking to me again because they felt I was just too strong for them. And so they wanted to just show me how things are. And you understand? Because normally, a consultant is they don't employ consultants into the ministry. And as a matter of fact, I was the first consultant employed in Ondo State Civil Service as a public health physician into the ministry. So, of course, I had a lot of issues, plenty issues and all that. So, when I wanted to do my master's in public health before I started work. But I was caught up I was so busy going around, doing so many things. I would not sleep. I would be working and working, doing government work and all that. And so, when this thing started, I read one of Bishop Oyedepo's book. And that book was on purpose. I said, what is your purpose? What is your purpose? Go back to your purpose. I now woke up. I said, you wanted to even do masters all this while. Why didn't you continue the drive? I didn't want to do English test. So when this thing started, I just said, I think I need to go and sit down and clean my books now and start reading. I just registered for the English test, did it, passed. Registered for the master's program. It was online in Liverpool. I started working. Within no time, I finished my master's, started my PhD. So people were trying to bring me down. They just thought that I was busy. I started doing so many things. Go to school. You know, when I published my first book, on my 40th birthday, I published a book. I launched it. I called the whole of the civil service, head of service, everybody was there. I wanted to make a mark with that day. And so everybody who has been saying, this girl, that's why they can't do anything. First book went, second book went, third book will go now. Because it took me to realize that there was more to me. So you create opportunities wherever you see obstacles. And so they know I'm on my own now. They know. So if don't call me. I'm doing 1 minute. The work on my hands is too much. I can't even finish it. I work both night and day. So if they take their own, it's better for me now. It's not better. But if they call me, of course, I stand out. I deliver my duty diligently as I should. But they know that I'm doing so many things with my life. And so that's how I was able to overcome that period. Though. I didn't bother, I became so busy. And that is what I want to challenge you for. Your crisis notwithstanding. Crisis will sometimes be a pointer to your purpose. They said there's purpose in crisis. Find purpose in your crisis. I want to charge you. So, discover how your passion meets the world's greatest need. So, next. Okay, so the second one there is appreciate. Appreciate your background. Like I said, God does not make a mistake. Appreciate your background. Consider and focus on your blessings and de-emphasize your deficiencies. Do you know we are blessed? There's something unique and that God has blessed you with. But if you don't think deeply, you won't see it. We complain about everything. The day the devil wants us to, think, he focuses our attention on the areas of our deficiencies. And we forget that we are blessed. A lot of people are dead. People who are even younger than us. They are far dead. But we are still here. There's a reason why we are still alive. Don't you know? There are some things working for us naturally. Write down those things. Whenever the devil wants to remind you of the things that are not working, remember the things that are working. That's how you can appreciate yourself. That's how you can get out of being depressed and not looking down on yourself and not appreciating who God has made you. Appreciate your uniqueness. I think I've said that. Dress well. Take care of yourself with whatever resources you have. It does not matter you have 2 clothes. Wash it. Dress well. Come out nice. Let them not even know that you have 2 clothes and 2 shirts. You say, it's the way you carry yourself. That's the way they will carry you. Hello? They said it's the way you dress. That's the way you will be addressed. If you come out shabbily and you just think, as if the whole problem of this world is on your neck, every man will treat you like that. And particularly for females. If you are a person that respects yourself and the way you carry yourself, any man that number one, is to first of all screen the men that will come. Anyone that knows that he will not be serious will never even try it. Am I speaking? So you already done first screening. So not every Tom, Duke, and Harry will come. They say, this guy is too serious, so let's not go there. So the serious ones now, those ones will now show themselves. Then, with where you are going, you can now screen the others. Because there are some men that cannot tolerate successful women. And if you know you have a future, a bright future, you know you want to do stuff for in the world. Once you see a man that is saying, you pick me or you pick the job, let that man go. You don't need any story. How many of you know Ibukun Awoshika here? Those are the people me I follow. I listen to her, I follow her. The way she carries herself, because I'm dreaming of becoming like her. So it's the way that's why I follow her. I read everything she puts on social media. Those are the kind of people me I follow. And she stands out amongst women. So please, like I said, let me emphasize it again. Follow the right people. The people that will make you to feel appreciated. You make you to feel, you know, your worth. You make you to carry yourself in a dignified manner. And you need to dress like that. They said dress like the image. You may not have so much now. That your image in your head, dress like that. Do you understand? So as money comes, you already have that image in your mind. Me now, I have an image now. I'm on another level now. And that's the truth. What I'm speaking to you is, I'm practicing it actively. So because I know that there's a way I should show up now, anywhere I go. And that is what is in my brain. Because it's another face for me. So same thing. And they said, when you are existing and you are not growing, you are a dead man. You must grow. From one level, you know, life is in phases, men, and in sizes. So you must grow from one level to the other. You can't be in the same level that you were 20 years ago or 10 years ago. There must be evidence of growth. Who are you listening to? What books are you reading? Those are the things that add to you, that makes you grow. Are you listening to me? So read books that will make you appreciate yourself. Positive thinking books. And that's why Nigeria, and I didn't say about Nigeria, I just walk away, because anything that will depress me, I don't want. So many depressing news every day. So immediately, I have certain scriptures in my head that I used to replace it instantly, so that I won't feel depressed. So have self-respect. I think I've said that. Be humble. Celebrate little victories. When you set certain goals for yourself and you are able to achieve it, celebrate. It might just be a bottle of Coke. You don't need to have so much money. There was a time I had one shoe. Hello? So don't think success is just one day. No. When we just newly married, I didn't have any job. My husband was still, trying to make it. One shoe. But I knew that this man has a purpose. He supports me and all that. So I was ready to go along to down the journey together. But today, I can't count how many shoes I have. So it is a process. And what I see about young people too is this get rich quick syndrome. Like Indomie. Indomie takes 5 minutes to be done. You don't want to undergo the process of beans. Let me share another thing with you. When you plant corn, you plant what's it called? Okra, you plant cocoa, like that. Do they take the same period to germinate and harvest? Which one takes longer? It's the same thing. If you are going places, if your future is very great, you can't expect that automatic 5 minutes. Greatness is a journey. You must be patient to walk that journey. And that is why many people are lured into Yahoo, because they want quick money. Go and find out. The ones in Akure, some of them they are doing boats. No business again. They are doing boats. You see them, once you see the car, you see this, they are dreadlocks and all that. You know he's a Yahoo boy. More business or what? That's why they are doing that for now. And so many girls have been objects of sacrifices. Some are alive, but not alive. They've removed the vital things in their lives. So they are only just existing. They are just korofo, nothing more. Because of the love of money. You want to use the best cars. You don't know that the person who is using the best car has a story. Like I told you, I had one shoe. But if you see me now, you don't want to pass through You will not want to carry my cross, all the cross I have carried. And you cannot have the crown without the cross. So, but people envy the crown. They don't want to take the cross. So, life is a journey. You can't have what you wish for now. You must work to ensure that so many night candles will be burnt. So many things will have to go, sacrifices you make to be able to get to where God wants you to get to. For the fact that God gave you a vision of a glorious future does not mean that it is automatic. You have your responsibility, God has his own. Fulfill your own and God will fulfill his own. So it's a process. So find a reason to be joyful. Remember my story. Hello? You remember my story? So consciously develop a healthy mind. Never compare yourself with another. So these are things you need to do to appreciate yourself. Next. Speak. Yes, I am a lover of, speaking of affirmative words, but I'm learning it in another dimension now. I didn't know that. Yes, I've always learned that speak positively, anything negative, don't say it. But now, there are deliberate things that I say, even to the minutest areas of my life. About business, there are some things you need to say. I did a training, a short course with somebody recently. And the way she was using, she had a book on affirmation. And I went to get my own book too. I started writing different areas of my life. My children, what do I want? My husband, what do I want? I started, be speaking things. Write it out, and if you forget, write it out and be reading it. It works. You don't just arrive at your destination. So many things must have been said must have gone into that outcome that you see later. Spoken words is one of them. Please let us adopt this method. Cultivate the habit of speaking affirmative words to every area of your life. Get a book of affirmation to constantly remind yourself. Surround your living area with affirmative words. If you have issues of low self-esteem and you are always negative, you can go and look for post-it. Those post-it cards. Write those things. I am wonderful. I am fearfully made. Whatever it is, just write those things and surround your room so that when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you will see. Scriptures also are good. Isaiah 60 is what I confess every day now to myself. I read it, say it to myself every day. It might be scripture, anything that that will flip over the negative thoughts in your mind. Please make a conscious effort to speak those positive things to yourself. Saturate your thoughts with positive thoughts. Flip over every negative word that comes to you. If something says you will fail, immediately say, I will not fail, I will pass. I will succeed, I will excel. Do you understand? So flip it over immediately. Don't let it settle anywhere in your mind before you return it back. Quickly dispel all negative thoughts and words. Refuse to accept negative words spoken to you by another person. Next thing, acquire. Improve your knowledge in line with your passion. I've talked so much about self-development. You can't have it enough. Once you know your purpose will determine where you need to develop yourself. Hello? If somebody has a singing, skill now, that for me, I don't have. The person can be going to music school and all of those things. For me, or reading books in relation to that. For me, maybe speaking or whatever, I will focus on speaking. Do you understand? So your purpose and what you have discovered about yourself will determine what you will build your knowledge in. Do you get it? So sharpen your identified talents and skills. Self-development should occur periodically. It should be targeted at improving your unique abilities and qualities for maximum impact. Take advantage of technology to develop your talents and skills. There are so many short courses, free online courses right now. You can leverage on all of these things to develop yourself. Self-development can take the form of formal and informal training. The dream you have about yourself for the future will determine what you develop in you. Next. Personal development is only relevant after self-discovery. So, yes. Can you go? Next. Okay, so let's go to relationship now. Reasons for wrong relationships. I think we start from there. Number 1, no direction from God. Many of us, we respond to the butterflies that flies in our stomach. Hello? Are you with me? You know those butterflies now? Or you don't know the butterflies? The butterflies that fly in our stomach is what we respond to. We don't respond to God. Many of us even think that it's not God's business. Our relationship is not God's business. Is our relationship God's business? Number 1 person who knows today, tomorrow, and the future is God. Is who? God. Before you take any step in relationship, God must be aware. Some people, they will say, God, this is who I found, oh, just bless him. That kind of thing. That when they now ask and they say they prayed, you are leading God. God, you are not allowing God to lead you. Did you get me? You only take the person and present the person to God. You didn't ask God if the person is the right person for you. So majority don't receive direction from God. And that's why they fall into wrong relationships. Lack of self-respect. I think I've talked about it when I was talking. You don't have, you don't have any form of regard for yourself, no respect whatsoever. So anybody who comes along, because you feel you are not good, so anybody who just says, maybe I love you, you just immediately go with the person. The person may be beating you, you will not care. You say, because you don't regard yourself. So you must regard yourself for you to attract the right kind of relationship. Lack of self-esteem is also another one. No knowledge about your purpose. You don't have any knowledge about, like I said, when you are focused on a journey and you meet somebody who wants you to go another way, once you know it's not on your path, you let the person go, right? So you must know what you are here for. It's critical. In fact, it's fundamental to any form of relationship. Just imagine I got married to somebody who will not allow me to do what God wants me to do. I won't be here today. He will just say, sit down at home. I know somebody, a medical doctor, who got married very late. Maybe I think because she got married very late, she just married just anybody. The guy did not allow, not one day, the lady is a consultant psychiatrist. Not one day, the lady never worked. She wanted to do everything to work. The husband said, no, sit down at home. Imagine a medical doctor, you have reached the peak of your career as a consultant. The man said, no, you can't work. That kind of person, won't the person be depressed? She will. So it is fundamental that you find out your purpose and you discuss it during courting. That's what you should say. This is what I want to be. If anybody say, BK, no, me, I cannot allow my wife to work. Will you remain there? Better be Chris. Because if you marry the wrong person, your purpose on earth may never be actualized. Even for the man, you are not only talking to the woman. You know there are some women that you marry. You also know that, mo marry gogoni. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So you are not only talking to the female gender, to the man. Please let us know it is better. This is the time to discover our purpose before we start to talk about marriage, so that it's part of things you discuss when you are discussing during courting, so that if the man is not going to agree, you know how to take a better decision. Then overt love for money and pleasure. Common now with our young people. Very, very common. Even the guys. Some men now, they are looking for the rich women. So it's not only to the ladies. Some men, once they see that you are able to, you have a good car, they will not come and be living with you as a woman. So those are some of the women that some guys look out for. Same also for the other sex too. You are looking for the finish. They said is Ọlọ́run ṣògo. Abi? It's no longer Surulere. Ọlọ́run ṣògo. So they said it's for better for for better for what? So for better for best. For better for stay. For what? For Tule. Okay. So please, anything that does not have a process, it has a high tendency of crashing. When you build a home with a man, the man will appreciate you for life. He will know that when he had nothing, God gave you wisdom, favor to help him and assist him to move up. But we need to, I'm not saying we shouldn't marry rich men, no. If God has, said, you must be sure. It's not the love of money. It's not because the guy has money that should attract you. No. Let us be wise in our choices. Comparison with others. Some people, my friend is married though, or my younger sister is married. I'm the only one left. I must also marry. So anybody that comes their way, they just take. These are reasons for wrong relationships. Societal pressure. Even our parents. I want to be a grandmother. Oh, I want to be a grandfather. Quick, what are you doing? See your friends. See your this. And so, there's a wrong mindset from some ladies. They think that they are not worthy, their lives, they cannot make it in life if they are not married. It's a lie from the pit of hell. We will not all marry. That's the truth. But you must have a right mindset. Some people the only thing they want in their lives is just to change. He got a lady and said, please, what plans do you have for the future? I said, no, I'm not going to work. What will you be doing? Me, I'm not working. You are going to supply everything I need. Guy ran away. So, he ran. Say, this one is liability. Do you understand? So, don't let anybody pressure you to marriage. Please. If you are here and you are thinking that it's already late, God's time is the best though. And like I said, your crisis may be a pointer to your purpose. This delay may be a pointer to your purpose. You may be helping other ladies later in life. So don't just rush because you have been delayed. Who even, is it written in the Bible that this is the age you must marry? Is there anywhere in the Bible? It's not there. So don't let the society push us. There are a lot of people who have rushed into marriage and rushed out. Because, number one, they did not prepare well. Number two, because they just feel, let me just satisfy this my mom that is always on my neck. Or let me just, because I'm not, when I get into any establishment, then they will not respect me. You are the only one. They say respect is end. Do you understand? It is what the way you carry yourself. That's how men will respect you. You don't ask for respect, you earn it. So please let's change that mindset. Don't let anybody put you under pressure to get married. It's not scriptural. It is not. Appreciate who you are. Appreciate whether you are late or carry yourself and achieve some. Primary reason why we are there is to make impact. And if the marriage is going to make you not to make impact, then it's not worth it. The marriage will amplify your purpose. Do you understand? The marriage will make, no Nobody heard about Joyce Meyer until she got married. Even Funke Adejumo, who heard about her until she got married? Nobody. But her husband helped her purpose. Same thing with Joyce Meyer. So please, it is important that we are in the right relationship, and that will help us to amplify what God has put in us. There are so many women who don't even know what they carry, but when they get married to the right man, that man helps them to bring out their gift. That's the kind of relationships we should attract. Not just because I want to marry. Some people is that photo shoot, that pre-wedding photo shoot that is in their brain. They go anywhere. I heard they do photo shoot now in OLAGBUJI, that church, sir. So that's where they do photo shoot now. They put it on social media. After then, nothing. Wedding and marriage, they are two different things. Wedding is one day. Marriage is lifetime. I'm sure you heard. Wedding is one day. Marriage is lifetime. So please, let us think beyond that pre-wedding. I didn't do pre-wedding shoot. Is my marriage not intact? So marriage is work. It's not meat. It's for matured minds. It's not for those who are still sucking, taking milk. No. There are so many things that will happen, forgiveness, patience, all sorts of things will happen in marriage that it is only your resilience that will take you through it. It's not about, I liked him. It was first, how do they say it? First, love at first sight. Oh, you won't remember love in marriage, yo. I'm telling you. You have to force yourself sometimes to just say, I love you. It's the truth. Yes. I'm telling you reality. I'm not coloring anything for you. It's the truth, because marriage is hard work. You need to work it out. It's the same thing as greatness. Anything good must be worked out. You can't expect, there's no love in heaven. Nothing, as in there's no perfect marriage, number one. Then all these Mills and Boone and all those things you read, all those fictional books we read, and they paint love as if it's a lie. It does not exist. Not only would love, it does not exist. That's the truth. African magic love is a lie. It does not exist. Marriage is beautiful, but you work it out. You offend yourself severally. You must have a heart to forgive. So, if you are not prepared physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, socially, you can't enter marriage. For the ladies coping with children alone, and you are working and doing all sorts. This last week, I was in Igbaroke. I got home 7 p.m. My son was doing an exam. I had to, immediately I started teaching him. I slept there at Topai. I woke up, I continued. So, and the next day I was already up again to go there. So it is hard work. Bible says that a man and a woman shall come together to be one, Abi. It didn't say half and half to be one. God was deliberate. A full man, full-fledged, physically, mentally, socially, financially, must come together to join another full woman. It's not half-baked. Any small thing you are crying. Any small thing you have told your mommy. Any small thing. No. It's the truth. There are some men who still go back home. Yeah, Michelle Mileni, you go and be telling your mommy. So and this is the period. You must prepare. Hello? Hello? This is the period of preparation. You must prepare for marriage. Don't let it meet you accidentally. There are some people, they discovered they were married inside the marriage. It's the truth. They focused on wedding. They now saw, maybe when they gave birth to their first child, they now say, eh? Ha. So if you will see some guy, they say, marriage is a scam. Haven't you seen it? Because nobody will tell you that there are issues there sometimes. They say marriage is a scam. They had to say, when you begin to pay school fees, you know how far. You can see all the schools now. They've increased the school fees because of what is going on in Nigeria. If you are not financially stable, can we live in this present Nigeria? And emotionally stable with all the things that are going on. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you must prepare. And this is the time to prepare. Read books. Expand your mind. Let's forget about this praying. Yes, prayer is critical. That is the fundamental. But you make that the foundation and you have build on it. When you don't build the right thing on that foundation with your activity and your actions, then that home will crumble. You need to get knowledge, seek knowledge. It's not just by talking or by saying, we talk about marriage and you say, pay your tithes, pay. No, there are some things, fundamental things you need to learn in the marriage. So many things that you need. There are sometimes that maybe I want to talk, I want to say some things. Those people just say, keep quiet. Don't say anything. And that is why you must sharpen your listening skills. It's very critical in marriage. Once I just keep quiet and you just think, so keeping quiet will just solve this problem. And sometimes, when I keep quiet, the thing will not end though. It will not end. He will say, no, why are you keeping quiet? You are not answering me. Do you understand? So God talks to me part time. I always ask him, what do I do about this? Sometimes it might just be appreciating more. That's just what God will say. And once I just do it, it will just solve the problem. So if you don't have that relationship with God, you need it. It's critical. So, but it's not for you to have that relationship and now fold your hands. You need to start working. Learn from people who have gone ahead of you through books, through knowledge sharing, through, different things. You need to mature as a person before you get married. Don't contemplate marriage if you know you are not mature, though. Please. You may have money, but it's not money. Your money, your love will not work in marriage. That's the truth. Some people will say, let me have money. Any girl will fall at my feet. That's what people say. That's what guys say. Let me just have money is enough. Girls will just fall at my feet. There are men who have killed their wives. And there are women who have killed their husbands. Like recently, I just heard a story. My mom was sharing with me of a woman that I think she saw a text message or something. She didn't even ask for the full information. She just set the husband on fire. You can imagine. So, I don't have work if I'm checking my husband's phone. To do what? If you know, what will happen? Because I've made myself so relevant in the marriage that I know that I cannot go anywhere. That's the truth. That's the way I've taught myself. When I know that maybe there are 10 things to do, I will help you. Don't worry. You can focus on this area. I do 8. I leave 2 for him. Where will he go? No, tell me, where will he go now? Because he knows that he's going to, and that's why I told myself, I said, I'm an asset. I'm supposed to help my husband. I'm the helpmeet. Abi? Yes. So if he says he wants to go, check his phone for what? Give myself hypertension? No way. I will not do that. Because I know that I'm doing much more than to assist him than that I know that if they put 20 women together, not more than 1 or 2 can do what I'm doing. Because I understand that principle. So I don't have to fear or pray that God, you should not. He cannot. And that is why I talk about self-respect and building yourself as an asset. I didn't just say I'm an asset. I'm an actionable asset. So, and that is how we should carry ourselves. So the man knows that, she's the one helping me. If some people will say, the man will tell the wife, leave my house. When you say leave the house, half of the house is for the wife. Will he ever say that? He can't say that because it's a joint effort. So that kind of man cannot say that because he knows that two of you have been too intertwined and he knows that you are doing things together to assist yourself, so he cannot say that because two of you are each other's projects. Are you with me? So that is how I want all the ladies here to carry themselves. You are an asset. And the Bible also says that it said, he who finds a man, a wife rather, has found a good thing and obtained favor from the Lord. If you are married to your husband and in 1 or 2 years the man is still the same, then there is a problem with you. Because you must attract favor to the man. They say one shall chase 1,000. One shall chase 1,000, two shall chase 10,000. That's geographical progression. It didn't say 1,000, 2. It means that when two of you combine, the devil is in trouble. And that's why the devil is after marriages. Because he knows that collaborative efforts of the husband and wife is something he cannot joke with. So position yourself rightly as the man and as the woman. A woman first. Man is the head, right? Woman is the neck. The body is at the children. When your neck, you know the neck, indirectly, is it not the neck that is controlling the head? Is it now? But you won't show it. You are submissively controlling it. Is it not it? Yes, it's the truth. You are turning it, but you are not showing it. The head, you are not obvious. The neck is under. But you are the one controlling it. So, do you understand what I'm trying to say? So, you are an asset. As a woman, you are an asset. Any man who leaves you is not worthy of you. That is why. Okay, sir. Okay. Let me rush so that I don't take the whole day. Next. Okay, so guidelines to ensure good relationships among youths. Develop a strong relationship with God and the ability to hear from him. I think I cannot emphasize that enough. It is critical. If you are here, hello, and you don't have a relationship with God, please, you need to accept Jesus as your Lord and Savior. It is the fundamental thing to do. And you must build that skill to hear from him. God is always speaking. When we pray, our prayer is like a dialogue. God speaks to you, you also speak back to him. That is how our relationship should be. I'm not talking about church going. I'm talking about what you do after church. That is your relationship with God. Then rely on God for divine instructions and guidance. We need it. In marriage, in our career, where to live. Everybody is jackpotting now. They are going abroad. What are they doing there? Does God want them to go? There's no place in the entire world that there is complete peace. There's none. The effect on Ukraine and Russian war is beginning to affect almost all the nations of the world. So where are you running to if God has not ordered you to go? Traveling out is not the solution to the insecurity in Nigeria. That's the truth. You know, I kept telling myself, because there was a screen when our massacre happened. You know, I went to go. I said, God, and you said we should still remain here. What are you saying? You know, and he said, stay wherever I tell you to stay is my city for you. He said, and I am the wall that sets around that wall. So wherever you are is my city. Nobody can tamper with you. And so when I heard about every other thing, when I was coming, once you put on the radio, terrorists attack Niger, Kinikan attack. I just remember that word. Lord, I'm dwelling in your city. And that completes it. I just rest my mind immediately. So we need to have a word per time. And that is from your relationship with God. Your own may not be my own may not be your own. My affirmative words may not be your own. What is God telling you? What is the affirmative word God is telling? And that's why I said you should get affirmative words for every area of your life. It is important. Speak the word based on what he has told you about yourself, so that we will be at peace in the midst of all this turmoil. Then do not lead God. Let him lead you. I showed you an example of the person leading God. God, I've seen brother A is the one for me, please. God, everything must work out. You are leading God, though. If you want God to lead you, you say, God, guide me. What are you saying about him? It is only what you are saying that I want to do. If you are saying no, then it's no. No questioning, no rationalizing. When in doubt, do not take any action. Maybe your heart and your head are saying different things. That means you are in doubt. Just hold on. Over time, you get clarity. Have a reference word. You will need it in times of crisis. You must always have a reference word. When you are getting married, hold on to one word. Let God give you a word. When crisis starts, you remember that word and go back to God with it. Please, can you... Okay, so build a solid foundation by reading books on marriage, parenting, positive thinking. Like I said, a lot of parents are accidental parents. You can see so many children are in problems, deep problems today, because of the parenting styles of their parents. A lot of parents are doing all manner of things right now. Even you see there are so many videos, you have it on the internet. There was one who was smoking shisha, gave the small 2-year-old, all sorts of things. The father will be drinking beer, will give a 2-year-old beer to drink. You'll be wondering that what's happening. Small children, some of them they expelled some children, 2 children from the same father. My daughter was telling me, from the same parents. Brilliant boy, their head boy, expelled them from my daughter's school. Why? They were caught having sex with another guy. When they asked them what led them to it, their father had been molesting them since they were young. 2 of them, and they were expelled. Brilliant children. You are a father, you are molesting your son, having, homosexuality with your son. And so the children, they don't know right from wrong. They went to school and continued it. And so, but the school needed to let other students, be as a deterrent to other students so that they don't go there. That's why because if not, I don't know. When I'm thinking about, I keep having, rigors when I think about that kind of small boy that, they've started on a very wrong footing. And that guy, God help him. Brilliant boy, head boy. So we need to, don't be an accidental parent. Read about parenting. 21st century parenting. Find out. Don't say you are too young. Find out. Expand your knowledge about what you are going into. Marriage. Find out. Read Christian novels. People who are doing it, who are already married. There are some people who have books. Christian novels abound here and there. Pick them. Read them. Add to your knowledge. How do you build yourself emotionally and all of that. You need positive thinking books. Read about, pick books and read those things so that you can expand your mind. Engage yourself in things that will help you to be a better individual. Develop your physical, emotional, psychological, financial, social, and mental abilities. Disease from sex before marriage. It is a corrosive agent, though it's a lubricant in marriage. Hello? It's now become a norm now. They will say they want to test how fertile you are before you get married. If God says no, there is a reason why he has said no. I must say, though some guys, they can argue it, but it's the truth. When you wait until marriage, there's a way you trust. There's trust, as in, there's just one trust in that marriage. And that's the truth. God, like we say, God doesn't make mistakes. Even